Here, the millennial generation is projected to outside the baby boomer generation as the nation's largest living generation in the US. Millennials are projected to number 75.3 million, surpassing the projected 74.9 million boomers. This is Lisa, and she is born in 1993, which makes her a millennial. Her parents are baby boomers and brought her up with safety, structure, and protection. Lisa has no memory or consciousness of revolution as the baby boomers had, and has been raised differently than the Generation X. In the early 1980s, baby on board signs appeared on the back of people's cars, which also shows the protected environment in which millennials were raised in. Lisa's parents have always wanted to ensure a safe and protected environment for her, and have always encouraged their daughter to speak her mind and letting her know that the only limit is the sky. There are various personality traits and characteristics that define Lisa and her millennial friends. Millennials are born and raised with the internet and are very familiar to the use of social media. In many Western countries, it is common for millennials to have multiple mobile devices, which are constantly being checked. Traveling is much cheaper, and due to globalization, the world is constantly becoming smaller. This generation is therefore used to traveling, which makes us more open to new experiences, diversity, and different cultures. We have been exposed to being around different people from different backgrounds. Millennials question everything and are very good at socializing. Lisa's overprotected parents have always told her that her opinion counts, and that is she allowed to say what she wants, when she wants, and always has the right to be heard. Lisa and her friends have higher expectations than previous generations did, which can be seen when it comes to our working life and millennials as consumers. In our personal life and at the workplace, millennials have clear goals on where they want to be in the future. Millennials are generous and have a big imprint on non-profit organizations. They are known to have a very action-based philosophy. It doesn't matter what a person or company says they will do, because for us it is the action that is important. Our generation is also known to be very impatient, and we have expect things to happen right away. Previous generations were counting hours and half hours, whereas the millennials were born in the digital watch era and counting minutes and seconds instead. There are a few differences in characteristics between the generations. According to a study from Business Insider, millennials are believed to be the most tech-savvy who know how to use social media to leverage opportunities. Millennials are also known as being the most enthusiastic about their jobs. This generation is believed to be a good brand ambassador, assuming that the number will rise because many millennials today are not being in charge of their own purchases. Millennials have the lowest score on being collaborative, hardworking, and a productive part of my organization. It should be taken into consideration that many millennials haven't started their first job yet, and which also explains the low scores in the cost effectiveness and revenue generation. Millennials that took part in the survey were more keen on knowing how they can get a promotion compared to Generation Xers and baby boomers. Millennials aren't the enemy of retail or any other business sector, but they are massive critics of any and all inefficient, stupid, and disjointed experiences. According to a study from Forbes and Elite Daily magazines, Lisa has a number of key values that are important to her as a customer. Lisa is very tolerant as a customer, is open-minded and good at compromising, making it easier to please her as a guest. If a problem occurs, she will understand as long as she can see that something is being done to fix the issue. Lisa has a good understanding of the value of money and is very down to earth. She does not care about showing off and understands after the recession in 2008 that money and wealth should not be taken for granted. Advertisement through old-fashioned channels such as billboards, radio and TV is nothing that influences her buying decision. Only 1% of millennials believe that advertisement makes them trust the brand. Lisa does not believe that this type of advertising is authentic enough, and prefers social media reviews. Lisa is very connected and often reviews blogs and other social media platforms before making a purchase. According to the survey, 33% rely on blogs before making a purchase. The brand engagement through social networks is of big importance. 62% of millennials say that if a brand engaged with them through social medias, they are more likely to become a loyal customer. The fact that 87% of millennials have multiple devices emphasizes on the importance of social media. Millennials believe that companies should be able to engage their customers on new platforms and have appropriate applications. If a company does not have a modern, nice and user-friendly web page or app, Lisa will most likely not bother to become a customer. Co-creation is important for Lisa, and 42% of millennials say that they want to be involved in helping companies in developing future products and services. When customers are involved in a product development, companies will be more successful, as Lisa believes. 60% of millennials say that they are brand loyal, but this depends on the different products or services Lisa and her friends are purchasing. When Lisa goes shopping and buys cheap items such as toothpaste or shampoo, she does not care about the brand and will look for the best deals to get as much value for her money as possible. However, when it comes to specific items, such as expensive goods, Lisa will be loyal to the brand she likes and would not change it if she is happy with it. Especially when it comes to expensive holidays and similar valuable purchases, loyalty is key. Booking a hotel room or choosing an airline company to fly with is based on experiences and Lisa's loyalty. Company values and CSR policies are important. Millennials want to know that a company takes care of their employees and treat them fairly as well as being environmentally friendly. A company should understand the importance of giving back to the society and not only think about the profit they are making. As already mentioned, one of our characteristics is that we are very generous and caring. Millennials value the importance of a life-work balance, which is different from the previous generations. Lisa is now about to graduate, and she is looking for a job. But what is she looking for in a company? Like other millennials, Lisa does not only care about the job description, she wants to be able to identify herself with the company's mission and vision. Lisa is more interested in future opportunities and the possibility to grow within the company than previous generations. A good example is when Generation X manager, let's call him Bob, asks an employee from the same generation to jump. The employee will jump and ask if it was high enough. Lisa will always question what her manager asked her to do and ask him why should she jump. Lisa found a company that she wants to work for and also got the job. During her first week at her new job, she walks into her manager Bob's office to talk about what is on her mind and ideas she has for the company. She also wants to be recognized by her managers and receive feedback, which is something Generation X and baby boomers are not used to. Bob thinks, "What are you doing?" and perceives her as arrogant and opinionated. In conclusion, Bob has understood that companies have to adapt to how they handle employees and adapt to the millennials' wants and needs to create a good working atmosphere, making sure that there are possibilities for employees to grow within the company and creating good management training programs, recognizing the employees for their hard work and making sure their voices are being heard. He has also understood that in 10 years, millennials will make up for 50% of the consumers, which is why he needs to adapt his way to attract new customers and also retain them. Since millennials are born and raised with the internet, it will affect the way they are to attract them. Classic advertising such as billboards, radio and TV is not a good way of reaching out to millennials. Transparency is important for millennials and is key to understand millennials as customers and employees. We prefer when everything is accessible to the public. Another important factor is the ease to change jobs and to move from one location to another. It is common for Lisa and her fellow millennials to change job after 2 years, compared to previous generation that usually stayed with their company throughout their career. Additionally, the globalization and the advancement in technologies enable millennials to purchase products from any country and also travel to wherever they wish to.